Alright, it's Tribulation, day 110. The world continues to spiral downwards into chaos. You know, out here in San Jose, California, the weird weather pattern continues of just really cold mornings with just a lot of clouds and cold winds, and it tends to blow off by lunch, and then man, the sun is just intense. I mean, me personally, I think it's brighter and hotter than ever. And so, here we are, day 110, and the way I look at it is, if the tribulation was a storm, like a hurricane, we're at the point where, it's about to make landfall. And just like everybody had to either evacuate or prepare for Hurricane Irene, that's where we are with this tribulation, is that, this thing's about to make landfall. So, those that have an escape route, they need to be prepared to take that. But whether it's having extra food, extra water, having your head screwed on straight, spiritually, being in the right place, now's the time. And this is like the mother of all storms. It's like that movie The Perfect Storm with George Clooney, where he ended up driving that boat right up that monster wave and didn't quite make it. But that's kind of where we're at. It doesn't matter what direction you're looking in. If you look in geopolitical, the world is on fire. The Middle East is erupting. Libya's a mess. Gaddafi's still hanging out there. Egypt's about to have their election. And, I think the Muslim Brotherhood is going to take over. And, in Libya, Gaddafi leaving is good news, but not good news, because I tell you, the Al-Qaeda is going to take over there. In Lebanon, they're starting a trial for these guys that assassinated the prime minister, and I think that's going to rile tensions. Syria is completely out of control with Assad, just massacring his own people. And, Iraq is, teetering. Iran has their own sinister plans, and, I saw a report which said they sent some submarines over to the Red Sea, and, God help us if there's some kind of astrological happening in the next 30 days, whether it's an eclipse or a comet, because I do believe, somebody over there, whether it's Mahmoud Ahmadinejad or the Ayatollah, would probably take it as a sign from God. Time to attack. Israel knows this. They're preparing their citizens to fight back. Minimally, the UN will be taking a vote on the 20th, and if they divide up Jerusalem, it's dark days. And there's no good that's going to come of it. If anything, World War III is what's going to break out. And, we got a president that, is a complete, I don't know why, throwing names just doesn't even matter at this point, but let's just be real, man. He doesn't have his eye on the 8-ball. Whatever the hell he's doing in Libya, who knows, But when all hell breaks loose, I guarantee you, Obama and unfortunately the United States is going to be behind the 8-ball on this one. We should have been shaping the Middle East. That was my problem with George Bush, is after we got to Iraq and took out Saddam, I was like, go, let's go right on into Syria, and then once they're gone, let's go right over to Iran. But that didn't happen. And if you let evil fester, eventually it becomes institutionalized, and you can't stop it, Or the price for stopping it means just a lot of people got to pay the price, just like World War II, Nobody took action against Hitler. In fact, some people thought he was okay. Ended up being a world war with millions of people getting killed. Jews ended up, in concentration camps. You know, around the world, you know, we got volcanoes going off in Tambora, Mount Etna. Seems to be, you know, increased geothermal activity along the west coast, you know, and we all know, we've seen the shows on the Discovery Channel and whatnot of the super volcanoes, Mount St. Helens, but, you know, I can feel it in my bones, man, you know, whether it's a volcano or a huge earthquake, something's coming. And you got these, you know, planetary alignments, the comets coming through, Planet X, you know, who knows? And you know what? NASA ain't telling us the truth on nothing. I don't believe it. You know, they're just, you know, with the space station being evacuated, the Russian rocket either being shot down or, you know, just ending up missing. You know, who knows what to believe. And, you know, I was reading a report, the sun has a whole bunch of sunspots developing, and there's some kind of magnetic sine wave creeping across the face of the sun. And nobody knows what the hell that's all about. So dark days are here, my friends. You know, we need to prepare for the worst, because it's coming. You know, they had an article on the internet today. There's this church in Iowa that's putting up billboards all over the place saying there is no God. A church. And, you know, according to the article, the pastor, the mastermind behind it was that he thought, you know, doing it would be some kind of reverse psychology. You know, I don't think it's reverse psychology. I don't know what the hell it is. But, you know, once again, it's a sign of the times. You know, civil unrest around the world is just at unheard of levels. You know, people ready to run into the streets. You know, politically, we're in for the nastiest election cycle we've ever seen in this country, and the Democratic Party is already launching, you know, their part of it with various people getting up and accusing Tea Party people of being racists and wanting to hang black Americans from a tree, you know, which is all lies. And, you know, once again, it's like I said, there's good people on both sides of this thing, and there's evil on both sides. There's evil people, the illuminati, whoever, you know, pushing their movement forward, and the global collapse of our economy is coming. You know, the debt ceiling, the disarm America, you know, all that is doomed for failure. You know, anybody that's sitting around thinking that something's going to come out of it, you know, wake the hell up. You know, Obama's going to give this speech next week. I guarantee you it's going to be a big disappointment and just a bunch of jibber-jabber, babbling nonsense. And, you know, even if one of the Republicans has a plan, it's too late. We're not going to make it to the next election cycle. You know, and then, you know, the whole Illuminati rule by secrecy, you know, brings up the whole conspiracy world that there's something underneath all of it lurking, you know, that wants the world to collapse so that a new world order can arise. And, you know, as I've stated, I've kind of come to the conclusion that there are no aliens, that it's some kind of satanic, demonic force. You know, the Masons and these secret societies, you know, they're not figments of people's imagination. You know, it's real. And, you know, for what it's worth, almost every city in America has a Masonic lodge in it. And I've been inside the Masonic lodge here at San Jose. It's up on a hill. You know, years ago, a buddy of mine that played for the Sabercats was baking stuff up there, and he invited me up there to do an interview, and I'd never been in that lodge, but it was an eye-opener, because when I went in there, you know, it was like everybody that was anybody. Their names were on the Masonic lodge walls. They had these plaques, you know, with people's names on it, from mayors to business people to whoever. And you know, my only thought was, what the hell goes on up at this lodge? But, you know, we know what's going on up at that lodge. We know what's going on, you know, with these secret societies. Pure evil, man. You know, that's all there is to it. And, you know, I do believe there's some kind of demonic force, and there's, you know, we all know there's some great deception that's coming. You know, everything that's being thrown at us is a lie one way or the other. And whether it's aliens landing on the planet, You know, one way or another, it's not going to be good. And you know, on YouTube, there's more people than ever having visions and dreams. And you know, pretty much everything you see coming out of it is them seeing darker days, you know, storms, nuclear holocaust, whatever. And I say all of it's possible. You know, America is not being blessed by God anymore. I don't think anybody's being blessed by God right now. You know, the world is in a state of decay. But, you know, the secret here is getting through the tribulation, you know. And you know, the sad part of it is it's not going to be many of us that make it. You know, they call it the remnant, but it's the few. And everybody else is going to go through hell. Some kind of disaster. You know, already we got another hurricane forming. Katia, you know what? The path trajectory of that storm takes it right to America. I guarantee you that storm will probably be landing on Washington and New York, the great city. And the 9/11 memorial is, you know, a week away. And nothing feels right about it. You know, they had a story about the amusement park. I forget exactly where, what state it was in, but it was all the Muslims had rented out the park, and they basically started a riot because the park told them to take off their burqas. You know, one way or another, you know, people are being pitted against people. And, you know, the secret societies, the ultra elites, they want society to break down. And, you know, whether it's starvation, which is everywhere, all this flooding, crops are being destroyed everywhere. You know, you look at stores nowadays, you know, what you're seeing in the stores is just minimal everything and rotten vegetables. But, you know, starvation, you know, dark days are ahead. So we need to prepare. You know, this one cat sent me a video using the Bible code, and, you know, no matter what sequence of words he put in on the search, you know, the Bible code was kicking him back, you know, in the Torah, you know, he was putting in like aliens, demons, you know, death, destruction, you know, it was all there, you know. So, you know, even if aliens don't land, you know, today, tomorrow, or a year from now, you know what? I think we're still headed for disaster, you know, even if it's just humans bringing it on themselves, you know. Because we've lost our focus, you know, our heads are in the wrong place. And the majority of us are just walking around completely unaware that anything's even going down. You know, but some of us are lucky, you know, like me, I got nothing going, you know, I haven't been able to find a job, but it's okay, because God's put me exactly where I need to be for what's going to happen. And that's the way you got to look at it, you know, no matter what's going on in your life right now, if you think things are bad, you know what, if you've lost your job, if you're broke, your home's foreclosed, count yourself lucky, because it's going to help you in the long run. Because it's going to get your head screwed on straight before it's too late. You know, the people that are too attached to their homes, that run into their homes, they're going to be the ones that are swept away. You know, whether it's by a flood or an earthquake or whatever. Got to be ready to move. Go to safety. I'm going to go get my tribulation on. Another day, tomorrow, maybe there'll be a glimmer of hope. You know, I know the world is what we make it, but right now, the forces of evil are turning it into something, into a nightmare. Alright, keep the faith. Keep on rocking.